This video is not intended for viewers under the age of 13. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am pleased to bring you the Mastermind Creations Reformatted R-48N Optus Nox. This is an amazing figure, and I cannot wait to get him out of the packaging. I've been waiting for this ever since the original was released, and yeah, I'm excited. Let's see what he has in store for us. Stay tuned. And here everything is out of the packaging. We do get a nice collector's card, some nice product images, and some stats on the back, if that's your thing. He comes with a very nice instruction booklet, although MMC did kind of play a joke on us by shipping him in robot mode, but the instructions take him from alt mode to robot mode, so it's backwards. Kind of a small issue, to be honest, but it can be overcome. In the separate transformation video, I will be taking him from robot mode to alt mode as he comes packaged. He does come with 2 arm blasters done in a nice gunmetal gray. The arm cannons go on simply by plugging the peg into that port on the forearms. And there you go. He does come with 2 blasters, sculpted just like the original. The only difference is there's no accent paint. It's just a black plastic. If you look at the original weapon, you see you've got the silver accent paint there along the shaft. They didn't do that this time, which is a little bit disappointing, but it is still definitely a wonderfully sculpted piece. And if you choose to do so, you can fold it up for storage or use in the alt mode. If you choose to do so, you can store the blasters on these pegs here. You'll notice that there is an angle going down to the front. You just simply line them up with the matching or corresponding holes. There's one on each side of the blaster. And you can have the over-the-shoulder look if you want. The blasters do fit very nicely into the hands. They are not coming loose at all. You do get the matrix done again in silver with some gray handles, just gray plastic. Very nice deep red as far as the jewel in the center. Looks really, really nice. You can move the handles around as they are detachable so that you can store it in alt mode. If you want to do so, you can store the handles for the matrix on these pegs on the side. Simple enough. The matrix does store in his chest, but unfortunately you have to pretty much untransfer the upper torso in order to utilize it. It's not usable in bot mode, so that is a disappointment. It does come with a very nice alternate face sculpt. This time with a solid mouthpiece, whereas the one that came on it is done with the damage. So it's nice that they gave you both options. Done well, nicely sculpted. Black plastic with silver paint. He does come with the cape, or shroud, whatever you want to call it. Nice black material. Looks good. And it does have wires along the side for posing, which is nice. You get the collar piece to hold the cape or shroud down. Just done in a black plastic, but nicely sculpted. You get the attachment to hold his sword on his back. Once again, done in a very charcoal silver, but it does look good enough. If you choose to do so, you can store the sword on his back. Bringing in this piece, you'll notice the two prongs. What you want to do is, those prongs go into these two holes. So just snap that in. And you can bring the sword in. And there you go. You can have that look if you want. And you get the sword, which looks truly epic. You got the very nice, clear, translucent red. If I can get my camera to focus on it. There we go. Very nice sculpted translucent red. Silver accents coming down the blade. Wonderfully sculpted, wonderful sculpting there. It looks amazing. You do have, again, the matrix built into the hilt. And a very nice effect. It looks like the blade is actually powered by the matrix, which is very, very cool. And then some nice sculpting on the handle as well. So very, very nicely done sword. As you might expect, the sword does attach the same way that the blasters do, and it fits very, very snugly in the hand. Whew, that was a lot of accessories, but we're going to save the cape for last. First, before we go covering it up, let's take a look at the figure. He is amazing. Let's take a look at that face sculpt. You've got that beautiful damage showing underneath with the mouth visible. It just makes him look like a tortured soul. It really does. And just beautiful. Beautiful. Got the metallic painted face. You got the silver along the crest, along the mouthpiece. The eyes are painted red. Looks truly astounding. The head is on a series of joints, and just bear with me while my camera mount decides to go down by itself. Anyhow, as I was saying, the head is on a series of joints, so you do get a lot of motion. A lot up, a lot down, crazy amount of attitude, and of course 360. Beautifully done. Shoulders are pretty interesting to behold. They do allow for movement all the way up. So if you utilize the entire thing, it's Saturday Night Fever, baby. Anyhow, just amazing as far as articulation. So they've got two joints here, which allow for up and down and movement of the shoulder. Very nicely done. This piece is sculpted, but does move as well. Just to give you some interesting visuals. You can do a full 360. In addition to the up and down, the arm, as you saw, does go all the way out. So you've got the ability to do a complete 90 degrees, all the way up. Beautiful range of motion. There is an upper bicep rotation. This is one of my favorite parts. You do have a nice double jointed elbow. And gets you more than 90. But look at the pistons in there as you move the arm. Just visually and stunningly sculpted. Looks amazing. Truly a beautiful thing. You do also have wrist rotation, and pivot. Fingers are all individually articulated to an amazing degree. You've got 1, 2, 3 pins in each finger, giving you the ability to pose them any way you'd like. Thumb is also individually articulated with two points of articulation, and thumb is held in by a ball. Fingers are held in by pins. So with those pins, you do get the ability to splay out the hands also. Just beautifully done. You do have the ability to twist the thumb. You can fully rotate it if you choose. Just amazing, amazing. Now that I'm looking at it, that kind of looks weird. But anyhow, truly spectacular. As far as the waist, you do get teapot on 2 points of articulation. One in the upper chest and one below the abdomen. You also do have a little bit of ab crunch, but if you cheat a little bit, these 2 points do separate, and you can go all the way down. All right. The hip skirts do fold out of the way. You can bring them up and think you're limited to that? You're not. If you swing down the hips, you can go more than 90 degrees. Beautifully done on nice ratchets. You can also kick up more than 90 degrees, and if you utilize the hip all the way down, you get pretty much 90 degrees back. Just an amazing, amazing amount of articulation on these legs. Now, this brings me to one area that I am not too happy with. Bringing my camera down to the legs. Let's fix our hip skirts. You've got this strange transformation with the knees where you see these two connections here on the kneecaps. That is to give you the visuals of the hydraulics in the knee itself, which it looks spectacular, but you'll notice as I straighten the knee and manipulate it, it wants to pop loose right there at that connection. Well, now that I'm talking about it, it's not going to do it. So more often than not, when I look down at this connection, this piece is up against the thigh and it's not properly transformed. So it also has the problem of not locking in completely on the legs. If there's a fix for that, let me know, but you're constantly fighting this. It's supposed to alleviate that when you bring the thighs all the way down, because they do pop up and down. And when you lock it down, it's supposed to alleviate that problem, but it doesn't. Anyhow, moving on. Enough about the negative. Beautifully sculpted and painted thighs. Wonderful details here all around. Looks truly epic. Coming down to the knees, you got the nice silver exhaust on both sides. You do have the very dark gunmetal silver in between the venting on the legs. Looks truly amazing. As far as articulation, you do have a thigh cut, though it's very limited just due to the sculpt. So you'll have to see, there was that knee going. You'll have to pivot it out in order to use it. But coming down to the leg, you do have the full run on the knees. Truly outstanding. Truly. See, when you bring it up, it wants to separate. That's kind of annoying. Coming down to the feet, you do have great articulation down. You can bring the foot out and get quite a bit up. The toe does go up as well. There's no toe, there's no heel to speak of, but it does do a tremendous job. I mean, just the balance on this figure. It's truly epic. It doesn't need any heels. Just wonderfully done. Wonderfully. Just taking a closer look at the details. You've got that beautiful vibrant red on the chest. Gunmetal gray on the abdomen. Some accents there. Beautiful silver and teal or turquoise accents on the hip skirts. Everything that we've already seen. Silver on the wheels coming up the back. Cleans up pretty well. The backpack, it's not the best, but it does a very good job of hiding the alt mode. Just to show you the articulation that this bot is capable of, you are actually able to get him into the fetal position. That is just amazing. I'm not certain that there's been another bot capable of doing that, to be honest. If there is, let me know in the comments. And as promised, here he is with the cape. And I think that just looks tremendous. It really, really does. The fact that you could pose it with the wiring just adds so much character to an already amazing looking bot. It looks truly, truly astounding. Alright, enough of me gushing over about how awesome he looks with the cape on. Here he is, just for comparison with the original. Here he is with Streak, just so you get a good sense of how big he is. And here he is with my favorite version of the MP10 mold, Nemesis Prime. So as per the norm, I will be doing the transformation in a separate video, so keep an eye out for that. When I do have it up, I will definitely link it in the description below as well. And here is Optus Nox in his alt mode. And I just gotta say, wow. As you can see, I do have the cannon stored on the top. His arm cannon is stored on the side, as well as the matrix handles. All of options that you can do if you want. To me, at least the matrix handles kind of look silly, so I'll take those off, revealing the nice detail on the fuel tank, which actually coincides with the detail on the cannons. So that's nice. Nice touch. All painted the same color in that dark metallic gunmetal silver. Again, you got the smokestacks coming down the side. More smokestacks coming up at the top. Go ahead and take this off. Gray paint on the hubs, which the wheels are just plastic. This is probably the weakest point of the whole figure. It still looks good, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like the wheels are kind of weak. But anyhow, moving on. I love the vibrant red coming through on the windshield, the chest pieces. Down below you've got a slightly different shade of pink, but they've done all the lights as well. Just looks spectacular and very vibrant red. You do have these shoulder pieces, which you can move around if you want, up and down. Nicely done. Looking at the vents, unless you have adequate lighting, it's very difficult to tell, but the vents are actually painted that dark charcoal gray that you see on the shins, same color. It's so dark, it's very hard to tell. If I had one critique, it would be maybe they should have possibly done an outline or something just to help distinguish the color. We also have as far as gimmicks, we have the matrix stored in his chest, which you can now fully open in alt mode. It looks really good. And that does close up nice and tight on the front. So he says. This side, just like the other, looks really good. There's the view from the back, which is probably the weakest point. Not much to talk about here. And then the view from the bottom. Does compact nicely into the alt mode. And of course it does roll rather well. For a sense of scale, there he is with the Masterpiece Carbot. In this case, smokescreen. And just for comparison, there he is with the original. Alright. Man, I haven't played with a cape that much since I played dress up back in, well, never mind. Anyhow, final thoughts. Wow, that's all I can say. This figure, it blows me out of the water. Negatives, there's a few quirky things with the knees. They don't want to stay up fully extended regardless of what you do, but it's a minor issue. Once you get it posed, it's not going to collapse or anything of that nature. So minor problem. I wish there was a little bit more, just some kind of differentiation in the paint. The difference in the color between the black and the dark gray is so minor that it's really hard to tell that something's painted. Other than that, man, positives definitely outweigh the negatives. Where there is paint, it's beautifully done. The sculpting is amazing, both on the character and the accessories. Both alt mode and robot mode look tremendous. The added detail that they put into the sculpt just makes this thing pop and shine everywhere you look. Articulation is something that I've never seen before. It just blows my mind what you're able to do with this character. And his affordability, $114, really is definitely worth the investment. In my opinion, this or the original version, or even both, like my case, is something you definitely want to have in your collection as a collector. Highly recommended. I did pick mine up at the Chosen Prime. There will be a link in the description. I know he is available from the wonderful people over at Toy Dojo as well. So Eddie and his team will be more than happy to help you out. Pick this figure up before it's too late and you regret it. That's all I have to say. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment or two. Anything you can do to steer the YouTube algorithm my way and help my channel grow. All that being said, I hope to see you again next time.